Welcome to Creative Minds with Lorraine Hogan, where we meet a selection of artists at the MTU Degree Show at Crawford College of Art and Design.
I'm primarily an oil painter, but I've been really interested in building these elaborate frames around my paintings, which for me are these protective or defensive mechanisms that are guarding the sensitive and tender content within the paintings. They are inspired by a mix of ecclesiastical architecture and rock formations found in caves. And for me, it is the blending of these two that kind of represents a merging of the physical and the metaphysical. I tried to emulate the look of bones because for me, this work is about introspection. So by making them appear bone-like, it was showing that this is a natural process and the inside is meant to eventually come out. I'm very interested in self-mythology, and I'm focusing on the figure of Lilith, where she has this confrontation over the Red Sea with these three angels, and basically she's disputed to be Adam's first wife in Eden. And after fleeing, she's given this ultimatum to either return to Eden and conform, or to flee forever and be banished. And she chooses the latter and is demonized for it. And in my work, I'm trying to reconceptualize her, and in the process of doing it, I'm also reinventing myself, so it's a very cathartic process. I wanted to portray her as a religious icon, so in elevating her to this status, it's honoring her, but also honoring my experiences that I'm projecting onto her.
The main theme behind this current body of work is related to biodiversity loss. We have 90% of our forests being of just monocultured trees, primarily Sitka. So in my research, I found that only 10% of our forests are actually native Irish woodlands. We need to focus on replanting, rewilding. So for this installation, I focused on bringing the Sitka spruce into the exhibition space. So through print, I created a number of Sitka trees using Silkscreen process. I found a forestry in Watergrass Hill called Monobon, and that's where I kind of, I suppose, focused on what it might be to re-enchant this dead zone, this forestry, this monoculture. And from that, I took a body of video and worked with it. I also took some sound from the test site. As a musician, I really wanted to bring the element of sound into the whole process. One of the central components of the sound piece was the humming of an old song called Kilcash, Queen of Kilcash. So it's a lament for the deforestation of Ireland after the Cromwellian Wars. I just thought it was poignant to kind of link that in with the whole deforestation and biodiversity loss crisis that we have. I had, through my research, focused on 7 plants in Irish folklore that were thought to be invincible. So I grew them, which was laborious, and brought them into the circle. So it was all very much a ritualistic re-enchantment, along with the video, the sound, and yeah, your own presence feeling hopefully something magical.
My work engages with the Symbiocene. So the Symbiocene focuses on interrelationships between different systems. I engage with this by focusing on the symbiotic relationship between bacteria and fungus. I explore that through the medium of monoprint. So what I do is I cut out plexiglass circles and acted as if they were the Petri dish. So I collaborated with the microbiology department in MTU, and what I did was I gathered soil samples from home and I used the soil in different medias and then grew bacteria and fungus samples out of the Petri dishes. So I used that as an imagery to create the body of work by using it in a similar method of dropping detergents and oils on top of the oil plates. And what that did was it reminded me so much of how the bacteria was blooming in the Petri dishes. The movement of the oil with the detergents moves in a similar way. It's an immersive feeling of seeing this kind of symbiotic relationship happening between fungus and bacteria.
My work interrogates the persistent effects of an intergenerational trauma in Ireland. I'm looking at how trauma is collected from our ancestors. In particular, my work looks at colonialism and institutional religion, and I focus on two sides of my family to tell my story. I use materials such as glass and textiles predominantly, and I have been working with film this year, and it's been an incredibly enjoyable experience as I can film my performance art, and it becomes like a ritual as it's repeated over and over again in my exhibition space. My work has led me to understand that sculpture is the area that I'm most interested in, and I have recently been accepted for a full scholarship in Louisiana State University to do an MFA in sculpture. As I came to study art as a mature student, it's been one of the most fulfilling experiences. It's given me the confidence to carry on with my career as an artist.
I hope you enjoy meeting artists through creative minds. I'm Lorraine Hogan. Until the next time, Gura Mila Mahagud.